Hey everybody, look what I'm playing on. This is the latest MT09 Tracer. 210 kilos wet, 850 cc's. It's basically the MT09 engine. Okay, let's just get the bad things out of the way. What the is this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? It's not good, is it? Looks a bit, Tell you what, Yamaha, when you finish the back end off, let me know. But the thing that actually interested me is that I used to have a Phase 1000. And the Phase 1000 was a fantastic bike. And I'd say that this one is a cross between the Triumph Tiger and the Phase 1000. So we're going to call it either a Figer or a Taser. The front end headlights do remind you a little bit of the Triumph, doesn't it? The Speed Triple Wally. But I think it's really nice. It's got the traction control which you can switch off. Personally, I don't worry about it because I don't ride like a maniac, so I'll just leave the thing on. ABS, again, people that talk about, oh, I don't want ABS on it. Well, don't slam your brakes on then. It's there for when you mess up. The engine is a 3-cylinder, of course. As you probably know, you've probably read everything about it anyway, but this reminds me of the old FZ750, like the 45-degree cylinders. I was a little bit worried it didn't sound like the Triumph, because I really love that whistle on the Triumph, even though some people don't. But if you watch this, it's got some neek-neeks as well. No, that sound isn't the neek-neeks, that's a building site over the back. See if this picks it up actually. Have a listen to this. That's got a really nice whistle. But it doesn't seem to have that over-the-top whistle that some Triumphs can have as well. So there we go. Let's go and have a play. It's a little fiddly getting to the ignition key. But it's not a major problem, is it? Oh God, I wish they'd adjust these bloody clutches. That needs to be about an inch further down, so it's actually in line with my hand. At the moment, I feel like I'm operating like that, when it should be operating like that. Okay, it's in standard mode at the moment. Let's just see what the slow speed's like. Back brake's really, really sharp. Look at that, slow speed. The balance on it is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Right, a smooth clutch like you'd expect it to be. Now let's see if it's got the gear change like my Phaser used to have. Yamahas can tend to be a little bit clunky on the gears. Now in the standard mode I am feeling that fuel injection problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it, change the mode into B mode, which is apparently pussy mode. Oh no, it's, no. It's got it. Damn. Oh dear. That is such a shame. Most people probably wouldn't notice this, most people wouldn't, but that is hunting again. Now remember, don't let this put you lot off if you like the bike, because it is a sweet piece of kit. I mean, so far it's nice and comfortable, the seat's quite firm, but even in eco mode, I mean it's in B, I can feel it do. You know, I'm looking for like carburetor perfection, and maybe my expectations are too high. So anyway, let's forget about that. We know now that it's probably about 90%, 95% okay, but it's still not nice enough for what I want. I'll try it in a bit. I mean, it's going nice and lightly around corners, it's nice and neutral. Okay. The speedo's quite easy to read out. You can feel the front end ever so slightly spongy, but that's the whole idea of this front end. It's supposed to be a touring bike, so compared to my 209, I'll tell you what, let's indicate. Compared to my 209, this is a lot softer. The seat is surprisingly firm actually for what it is. I'm the first customer to ride this bike. It's done 15 miles. Yeah, the gears are smooth to second. There we go. We're back into A mode. So A mode now is the hooligan mode. The throttle is one of these ride-by-wire throttles again. There's no cables going directly to the fuel injection. It just reads off electronically and then tells the fuel injection how much to give. Tell you what, I've got some pull on it though. That really is nice. I'm not expecting it to have the power that the 209 had, because it's only something like 113 brake horsepower, but you can certainly feel the difference in the throttle response on this. So as it's turning out, these modes don't necessarily smooth the fuel injection out. What they do is turn the throttle into a quick action throttle, if that makes sense. A little bit skitty, but maybe that's got something to do with the tyres, I don't know. It just feels very light on the front end, on the handling. I hope you can hear me because the wind noise is actually quite loud. So let's pop it back into standard mode. There we go, that's back in standard mode now. But I can't necessarily start chucking it round for two reasons. First of all, it's quite cold, and secondly, it is a brand new bike, so it does drop quite nicely though. That's quite sweet. So what gear I'm in? Fourth gear. Fourth gear at 30 and it's still wanting to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop it down to second. This should be a little bit of fun. Ready? I'll tell you what though, there's quite a lot of vibration through the foot pegs. The speedo's 20% out, by the way, everybody. It's quite a growl through the foot pegs when you open it up. It's not that smooth. You do get quite a bit of wind blast, so what I'm going to try and do is just pull in somewhere. So let's have a quick look at the screen. Oh, it does smell new. Oh, I love the smell of a new bike. So there's the knob. Somebody else mentioned it's a bit awkward to adjust this screen, and I can sort of see what they mean. Ah, okay. Does that go backwards like that, or get that back a little bit more? There we go, that's out now. So let's see what we can do. There we go. The screen's dropped, the screen's high. There's only probably about 2 inches of movement. So I've dropped the screen down. It was on its highest. Let's get these tightened back up again. Right, I really don't like that. Maybe it needs a top box or something on it. The carbon fibre look on the side is actually quite classy. Sometimes carbon fibre can look a little bit cheap. Tell you what, I'm not very fit. I've just climbed off the bike and back on and I'm knackered. I need to sort myself out. Apparently when you stop it and restart it again, it goes back into standard mode. Right. Does sound nice though. Oh, front end just popped up. Not that I meant it to, but it looks like the traction control kicked in and slowed me down. I can see how this is going to be a great hooligan bike for some people. I really can. The throttle is very responsive, and being a triple engine, it really is good. I've never been on this road before, so I'm going to have to use my limit points. Click here to see the limit point video. I've just seen a car on the right there, which leads me to believe there's either a junction or a bend coming up. There's some signs here, so it's probably going to be a junction. Okay, it's got loads of torque on it though, loads of torque. It's got a lovely sound to it though. It's just done it again. Did you hear that burr burr? That's the traction control kicking in and stopping me from wheeling. You can turn the traction control off if you want to, but I don't want to because I am the biggest wheelie coward in the world. When I was 17, I wheelied a bike on a field and flipped it and broke my wrist, and since then I just got a mental block. It's got a very clear digital gear readout as well, very clear. I hope you can hear me though, because there's quite a lot of wind blast. But with the screen in the lower position, the wind blast is actually smoother than it is when it's a couple of inches up. You do get a bit of buffeting, but apparently there is another screen you can get for these. The gearbox is lovely on it. It's as slick and sweet as anything. It's not got the clunkiness that my Phaser used to have. The Phaser was notorious for having a clunky gearbox. This is lovely. But unfortunately it does have those fuel injection mapping issues that I've always found on these bikes. It doesn't mean, remember, just because I say it's got it, doesn't mean that you're going to be able to feel it. Remember, I've been instructing over 30 years and I am really, really picky on things like this. You probably wouldn't even notice it. Remember, I'm not saying that I'm better than you in that way, I'm just saying that I'm really picky. You can feel a little bit of coarseness through the foot pegs when you open it up. Maybe that's just the triple engine. It's not that bad actually. It's, you know, you can feel the engine starting to wake up and work. To keep the visor down, there is quite a bit of wind blast just here. Yeah, the gearbox is bang on, absolutely 100%. That gearbox is beautiful. The front end does feel vague when you're pushing it over bumpy ground. The Tuono, as harsh as it was absolutely rock solid, but again, should I be comparing it to the Tuono? It's a different breed altogether. This is more of a tourer. You know, if you want to go hooning around, then maybe this isn't the bike for it. But I did notice the front end starting to go out of shape over a couple of little bumps and things, so shall I jump it over here? Cool. Ready? Ready? No. The back brake's got a lot of feel to it. When you're going slowly, it's strong enough to be able to stop you from 15-20 miles an hour without using your front. But it's also smooth enough not to be catchy or snatchy when you come to the final stop. Second gear around this corner, let's see. Sweet as a nut. It's not too bad round town. It's definitely one of the better fuel injector bikes I have ridden. Let's drop the revs down even more. Let's try fifth gear at 28. 4, 3, 2 at 28. Yeah, when the revs are up, it really shows off that fuel injection. When people talk about riding round it, this is exactly what they mean. That is actually quite bad in second gear. So I suppose it could be ridden around, but I don't want to buy a bike that's an I suppose. I suppose the conclusion on the first trial or the first ride, it's not quite for me because of that fuel injection again. But again, people often say when I've actually reviewed a bike that they can't feel it on their bike. So don't take my word for that. Ride one, because it is fantastic to ride. It really is nice. Everything does as it should. And at just over £8,000 brand new on the road, it's a fantastic price for the bike. Absolutely fantastic. Here it is. And it's nothing to do with the bumpiness of the road, because I've just been on a really smooth surface. It's just where those injectors are being told to give fuel and don't give fuel, give fuel, don't give fuel. Seat height wise, I'm 5'8" and I've got my left foot flat on the floor. In fact, both the balls of my feet, if I'm putting both feet down, or if one foot's going down, I can put it down flat. Gear's nice. It's very easy to ride at slow speed. Okay, bit of trials riding. And this was a test ride courtesy of Arnold's motorcycles in Loughborough. They also have branches in Leicester and Burton-on-Trent. Very, very helpful people. It's worth the extra travel to get to a dealer that is actually going to look after you, and these guys are ever so nice, ever so friendly, nothing's too much trouble. So put a little bit of work their way. Get a test ride. Standard MT09 just here. And then the Tracer.